Can you handle living in a snowy winter wonderland? If you've thought about moving to Central Oregon, you'll want to watch this video to learn the truth about how cold it gets, how much it snows, and how long winters can last here. I'm Haley Overton, a local realtor here in Bend, and my team and I are here to be your local resource for all things Central Oregon. So grab your puffy jacket and a beanie. We're about to give you some beta on what it's really like to be a Bendite during the winter months. First of all, you should know that it does snow here. Winter in Central Oregon lasts from about November through April. We've even been known to get snow as late as May or June, although it doesn't usually stick around when it snows that late in the season. Peak snow season in town is usually December through February, with some spring storms later in the year. We can get a dusting of snow up to several feet at a time, but I would say the average snowfall of each storm is around 3 to 8 inches in town, and even more at higher elevations. If you live south of Bend in the Sun River area, you'll probably see about double the snow that is received here in town. My first winter here, it started snowing in December and it didn't stop until April. We had several feet of snow on the ground for months and we were shoveling our driveways so many times a day. So while that isn't typical for here, I will say that it gave us a very quick introduction to shoveling snow and learning the ins and outs of living in a mountain town. I will say that you most often will find that the snow in town melts off within a couple of days, just enough time to enjoy it for a little bit. Another thing to remember with Central Oregon snow is that while it might be cloudy on the day that it snows, it's not unusual for it to be a bluebird, sunny day the next day. So while it's really cold, you get the sunshine to warm you up. And snow is a really good thing here. It helps decrease drought conditions to keep summer fires at bay, and it provides great snow for mountain recreation like skiing and snowshoeing. And when it snows in town, it means sledding, which my kids love. But if you have kids, make sure that they don't get too excited for snow days. Central Oregon schools rarely shut down when it snows. Another thing you'll want to consider when moving here is winter tires. Because we do get snow and ice, a good winter tire or a studded tire is highly recommended, especially if you're going to be driving up to the mountains. Now, there are debates about studs versus studless tires, but definitely use what makes you feel the most comfortable when you're driving in winter conditions. You'll want to look for a tire with a snowflake on it. Most people put their winter tires on in November and then switch them out again in March or April. So I mentioned winter recreation before, and I definitely want to talk about that. If you're a skier or a snowboarder, Mount Bachelor and Hoodoo are right outside your back door. Mount Bachelor is about 25 or 30 miles from Bend, and Hoodoo is about 45 minutes to an hour away, just west of Sisters. If you're not into downhill skiing, Central Oregon has endless cross-country and snowshoeing trails. You access many of them through snow parks, which do require a day use or an annual pass. But if you're not an outdoor activity enthusiast, that's okay too. Bend has lots of events in town throughout the winter, including winter beer fests, community events like Winterfest, and fun après-ski events at businesses like the Commons downtown. We definitely don't stop socializing when it's cold or snowy. You just put on another layer and gloves and hang out. I personally love winter in Central Oregon. It did take some time of getting used to learning how to dress appropriately, learning that winter here can continue well into spring. But when you make it to May and June and July and the weather is beautiful while the rest of the country is already cooking, you'll appreciate that you live in such an amazing place with a variable climate. Now, I have had clients who have moved here, spent a couple of winters, and decided that it just wasn't for them. That's more of the exception, but it does happen. I think once you embrace the winter and you learn how to navigate the snow, how to dress warmly enough, you'll enjoy it just like I do. So there you go. That's my honest opinion of living in Central Oregon in the winter, what it's really like and what to expect. If you have other questions about winter in Central Oregon, feel free to reach out below.